Yeah, typically you will earn more USDL from staking the loan tokens than Pulse from redemptions. Um, Redemptions are only profitable for people to do when the peg of USDL has fluctuated a little bit. I know that sounds scary. Well, what do you mean the peg? It's going to lose its peg? Listen, all stablecoins are subject to Richard Hart's law. Okay? Hart's law, where they're in a liquidity pool. Imagine USDC paired to ETH, and if ETH goes down in value by 10%, well, the USDC also goes down in value by 10% with it, even though they're called a dollar and they're called a stable coin. You could have, a million of them in this pool, but if ETH dumps on one side of the pool 10%, you'll also see that those stable coins are only worth $900,000. Okay, you have 90 cent USDC at that point in time. So what people end up doing is they buy the cheap stablecoin. There has to be an incentive to buy it. You buy it and you can redeem it somewhere else. So with USDC, you can buy it and you're guaranteed just hold on to it for a while. You'll be able to send it back to Circle and they'll give you $1 worth of fiat for it. You just got a 10% deal. Okay. So that's USDC. What you saw with Luna is when it lost its peg, there wasn't enough. You couldn't redeem them all because the market cap or the total supply of UST was way, way, way disproportional to the Luna that you're supposed to be able to redeem it for. It was completely fractionally reserved and nobody could get out. There was no place to redeem it for. So it lost its peg and it was like, nobody can get out. And everyone, fear in the market, and everyone just started selling it. They started dumping it. Instead of buying it to bring the price back up, they said, ooh, there's no redemption mechanism here. It looks broken, so let's just dump it instead if you're holding any liquid. And everyone started dumping out of their UST. Okay? This happens to all stable coins that are fractionally reserved. It's going to happen to Frax. It's going to happen to Fei. It's going to happen to a ton of different stable coins. They're all going to follow suit with what happened with Luna. Some that will survive will be 100% backed in redeemable stable coins, such as in the Maker protocol with DAI, or the Liquidity protocol with LUSD, or liquid loans, 100% backed and fully redeemable. You can always, at any point, go buy yourself USDL, regardless what the price is. So there's always an opportunity. If the price falls, if Pulse falls in value and USDL falls with it, it should be really, really quick. Go buy that USDL because you're guaranteed you're going to get $1 worth of Pulse for it straight out of the protocol.
And why is that? Is that because of the over collateralization, or how does that work?
Because of the over collateralization, exactly. And the protocol guarantees that you'll be able, when you click the redeem button, if you've got USDL in your wallet and you click redeem, what it does is it actually goes to the lowest collateralized vault, the one who's really close to liquidation point, and it pays back that loan with the USDL. It burns the USDL that you're using to redeem with. It grabs some of that pulse out of that lowest collateralized vault. It saves that vault from liquidation in some cases. It raises the entire collateral health of the entire ecosystem, and it completes the closed loop system where at the beginning you mint USDL against Pulse, but full circle, if you choose to redeem USDL, you'll always be able to get Pulse because it's just going to grab it from the lowest collateralized vault. The guy who's not managing his vault, or he's way down at the lowest, the riskiest vault, it's always going to get it from there.
Interesting.
There's a fee that comes along with that. That fee is typically 0.5%. It's actually cheaper if you've got a bag of USDL and you just want to swap for Pulse. It's far cheaper to just go to PulseX and swap. But in the scenario of Pulse having a big dip real quick, and then the value of USDL falling with it. And then there's a great arbitrage opportunity there. What you're going to end up seeing, and you've seen it time and time again over on Liquidity, there's that immediate arbitrage opportunity. There's the guaranteed redemption, fully backed, fully redeemable. You can grab that, buy the price back up, fix that ratio. It brings the peg right back to worth $1, and you can get your dollars with a pulse immediately out of the protocol. At no point is there ever anywhere near less value in pulse than there is USDL that's minted. The average collateral health of the entire ecosystem has to stay over 150. You're going to end up seeing that it's probably going to float around 300 to 400%. So not only is it not fractionally reserved like Luna was, you're likely to see 3, 4, maybe even 5x over collateralization inside of liquid loans.
So what are the pros and cons of that? Is there any effect to the users of liquid loans that would come from that extra safety?
Ask that question one more time.
So what are the pros and cons of having such a coin so over collateralized? Is it, is it just for the security aspect of it dropping?
It ensures that there's always an arbitrage opportunity. The protocol is never at risk of the value of what's backing the stablecoin. Like, the value is always going to be there. You have to have things fully backed and redeemable. Fractionalized reserves kind of suck. Okay, that's what makes things fail, right? So it makes sure that you're never able to see a fractional reserve.
So why do they do that?
It gives people the opportunity.
That's the question. They're like, why would you fractionally reserve a stable coin at all when you could always just do it this way and it'd be so much better? Like, what are the big, like, why do people choose to fractionally reserve stable coins?
Well, out of greed, and they like to go spend it on other things. Like in Luna, you saw them spend all their money on Bitcoin. So it was kind of weird, right? So they actually they told the community they were buying Bitcoin to back UST. That didn't make any sense. Bitcoin's a completely different blockchain. How the heck are you going to do that with code? You can't do it with code. And then what happens when Bitcoin goes down in value? There's no place to redeem your UST for Bitcoin, so it's just all smoke and mirrors. They literally just took all the money out and they went and bought Bitcoin with it, like, because they were greedy.
So very manual. So somebody with a lever, like, hey, Bitcoin, let's throw some in the vault, and then if we ever need it, it'll be there. I guess we'll.
Yeah, it would kind of be like, it would be equivalent to, let's pretend we had admin keys and we just like withdrew a bunch of pulse from everyone's vault, burned it all, or swapped it all out for Bitcoin. We further dumped the price of pulse and we scooped up a bunch of Bitcoin. We held on to it as, founders and team members of Liquid Loans. That's about the equivalent of what Luna did. It's really ridiculous. Okay.
Interesting.
So, like, that was the first. That should have been the big sign when they bought a bunch of Bitcoin that something's wrong here. What are they doing? This doesn't make any sense. Maybe I should sell out of my Luna. Maybe I shouldn't hold UST. Let me get out of Anchor Protocol and get the heck out of this. This doesn't make any sense, right? But people didn't. They're just like, oh, cool. Dope One's buying a bunch of Bitcoin. He says it's to back. He says it's to back the stable coin. So now the stable coin has a stronger backing. No, that's not how that works. Right? It was all smoke and mirrors. It was ridiculous.
That's interesting. So events like that could be a canary in the coal mine for other projects too. Maybe something to look out for.
Right. So literally, there's only a couple good ways to do this, and that's Maker is okay, but there's governance. And I told you how Circle owns a bunch of the USDC in there now. So like, it's just better to, if you have something that can run autonomously, there's no need for human governance in any form or fashion.
Right.
This literally is the best way to run a stablecoin lending protocol in existence, period. Hands down. I welcome anybody to go do some research. Look at all of them. Look at all of them right now. Put it down on paper to go research 5 or 10 different lending protocols on the Ethereum chain. Make sure that Liquidity is one of them, and then come back with any counterpoints. You won't be able to.